Here's Cunningham up ahead of the field, lays it in, plus the foul, and then Cunningham.
She cannot play another WNBA game ever again. This ghetto thug you see on your screen, DiJonai Carrington, posted white privilege and tagged the Indiana Fever after she got ejected after raking Sophie Cunningham across the head.
When are you gonna put your foot down and have the people in your locker rooms back? This dingbat of a coach is at the podium defending DiJonai Carrington versus Sophie Cunningham.
The hardwood of the WNBA has played host to some of the most intense, fiercely competitive moments in professional sports history. But every so often, a line is crossed that transcends a simple basketball game and transforms into a full-blown cultural flashpoint. That exact breaking point arrived when the sports world collectively held its breath as a violent, reckless sequence unfolded on the court between DiJonai Carrington and Sophie Cunningham, triggering an immediate and explosive fallout that quickly spilled far beyond the final buzzer. In a professional sports league built on elite athleticism, fierce rivalries, and global attention, discipline and sportsmanship are supposed to form the bedrock of daily operation. Yet when physical aggression meets unapologetic digital escalation, the entire ecosystem begins to fracture under the weight of the controversy.
Carrington is a dirty player, probably the dirtiest player in the league. And then she has the audacity to go online right after her ejection and claim that she got ejected because of racism. She definitely learned well from Angel Reese. Whenever something goes against you, just pull out that race card.
This incident was not merely a routine hard foul or a momentary lapse in judgment in the heat of competition. It was a watershed moment that forced fans, analysts, league executives, and players to confront uncomfortable questions regarding player safety, conduct standards, professional accountability, and the boundaries of social media behavior. The subsequent online uproar did not just ripple across timelines, it detonated, drawing thousands of passionate supporters, critics, and media personalities into a relentless debate over what is acceptable inside a professional arena and what crosses the boundary into unacceptable endangerment.
There's no question why Sophie Cunningham got up and took exception to that hit.
WNBA is the gift that keeps on giving. The latest is a clothesline foul on Sophie Cunningham by DiJonai Carrington, the woman that went on an incredibly racist rant against a cab driver and, of course, knocked the hell out of Caitlin Clark from behind her rookie year. But that's okay. I'm not mad at that kind of basketball. That's all good. But the problem is after. It was white privilege. White girl goes to the basket. African-American woman knocks her on her ass, clothesliner, knocks her down, upgraded to a flagrant 2.
To fully understand why this specific flashpoint caused such absolute pandemonium, one must look closely at the sequence of events that transpired right in front of thousands of screaming fans and millions watching from home. As Sophie Cunningham pushed the pace on a high-speed fast break, charging down the court with incredible momentum, DiJonai Carrington stepped directly into her path with a motion that immediately drew the collective gasps of the arena.
Sophie is not Caitlin Clark. Sophie is from the show me. She want all the smoke. Sophie say, pull up. She's ready for battle. And that's exactly what she said, man, in so many words. So if you guys don't know, DiJonai Carrington was ejected from the game for literally giving Sophie Cunningham a clothesline from hell. She hit her with the Undertaker signature move. She down her flipped up.
Instead of making a legitimate basketball play on the ball, establishing defensive position, or contesting the shot cleanly, Carrington extended her arm and raked Cunningham directly across the head and face in a vicious, unyielding swipe. The impact was instantaneous, jarring, and unmistakably dangerous, sending Cunningham to the floor as the whistle blew and the arena erupted into immediate chaos.
Coming down, trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit.
Referees rushed to the monitor, reviewing the replay from multiple agonizing angles to determine the severity of the infraction. The video evidence left zero room for debate. The officials rightfully upgraded the infraction to a flagrant foul 2, the most severe penalty a player can receive in basketball, resulting in an immediate ejection from the game.
DiJonai needs to be suspended, and not for the foul. I don't believe DiJonai Carrington's foul was suspension worthy. I think it was flagrant 2 worthy, obviously flagrant 2 worthy. Based on the WNBA's really relaxed rules on suspensions. It isn't a suspension if it's in the NBA. Duh. Obviously, it's a suspension if it's in the NBA.
In a standard professional environment, a player sent off for such a reckless act would head down the tunnel, reflect on the danger of the play, and accept the consequences handed down by the league and officiating crew. However, the departure from the court was only the beginning of the storm, as the real controversy ignited once Carrington took her grievances to the digital public square. Rather than offering an apology, acknowledging the danger of the contact, or accepting the judgment of the officials, Carrington opted for a defiant online response that shocked observers across the sports landscape. By posting provocative commentary online and invoking inflammatory rhetoric regarding white privilege while tagging the Indiana Fever, she instantly transformed a basketball disciplinary issue into a sprawling, multi-layered cultural debate.
DiJonai Carrington tweeted out white privilege from the locker room of a game that she was playing in. Get this, she fouled Sophie Cunningham hard. Sophie Cunningham, obviously a white person, fouls her hard. Flagrant 2, gets ejected, goes to the locker room and tweets out white privilege in the middle of the game. Now here's the kicker to me. A flagrant 2 has to be contact that can lead to an injury that looks excessive. DiJonai, it was about as excessive as possible. If there was any evidence of there being white privilege, this was not it.
This escalation raised urgent concerns among consumers of the game who invest their hard-earned money, time, and emotional energy into supporting the league. When a professional athlete publicly airs grievances using divisive language directed at opponents and organizations, it destabilizes the professional harmony required to sustain a multi-million-dollar sports enterprise. Fans watching at home felt an immediate sense of unease, realizing that the physical safety of players on the court was now seemingly competing with unpredictable personal animosities off it.
It's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about. And
the digital post did not stop at vague commentary. It included a specific date, August 23rd, pointing directly toward the upcoming rematch against the Chicago Sky, an ominous hint that left many wondering if future contests would prioritize settling personal scores over playing clean basketball. The implications of this targeted date sent shockwaves through the fan base, as supporters began examining the scheduling calendar with genuine apprehension. When an ejected player highlights an upcoming matchup date immediately following a violent on-court altercation, it naturally sparks widespread anxiety regarding premeditated retaliation. Sports leagues thrive when the competition is fierce, organic, and driven by competitive fire. But they suffer deeply when the line between competitive intensity and malicious intent becomes blurred. Viewers tuned into sports broadcasts expect to see supreme athletic execution, tactical brilliance, and hard-fought battles, not a nightly referendum on personal grievances or unsafe physical contact. The fear gripping the consumer base is entirely rational. When a player demonstrates a consistent pattern of aggressive physical contact directed at opponents' heads, faces, and vulnerable areas, every subsequent game carries an unacceptable risk of career-altering injury. The physical toll of professional basketball is already immense, with players enduring grueling schedules, relentless travel, and high-impact collisions nightly. Adding an unpredictable element of reckless hostility into this mix threatens to undermine the integrity of the competition and turns every possession into a potential hazard.
The lady has no idea what she's doing. She's in over her head. She's way over her head when it comes to this job. She needs to go back to being head coaches of teams that nobody really gives a damn about. And it's that simple. Take a listen to Stephanie White defending DiJonai Carrington. This is disgusting. If I'm Sophie Cunningham, I'm pissed.
Examining the broader historical context reveals that this recent incident was not an isolated anomaly, but rather the latest entry in a heavily scrutinized track record of controversial physical play. Over multiple seasons, observers of the game have cataloged numerous instances where physical engagements involving Carrington and other competitors cross the threshold from aggressive defense into dangerous territory. From high-impact blows landing flush on opponents' heads to physical altercations involving hair-pulling and aggressive swiping during loose ball scram. The video archive tells a story that many argue the league can no longer afford to ignore. One cannot easily dismiss a history of repeated infractions as mere coincidence or bad luck when the physical outcomes consistently place opposing players in vulnerable positions. Furthermore, public memory remains sharp regarding previous high-profile incidents, such as physical contact involving league superstars like Caitlin Clark, where opponents' hands made direct contact with sensitive areas like the eyes and face. When a pattern of behavior emerges over an extended period, it invites intense scrutiny from analysts and fans who demand to know where the institutional accountability lies. League leadership, including commissioners and operations executives, face mounting pressure from the public to establish clear, unyielding boundaries that protect player safety above all else. The economic and cultural growth of the WNBA over recent years has been historic, marked by record-breaking television ratings, packed arenas, soaring merchandise sales, and an unprecedented influx of new fans discovering the brilliance of women's professional basketball. This monumental expansion has elevated the platform for every single athlete competing in the league, granting them unprecedented visibility, higher compensation structures, and global stardom. Yet with this massive surge in popularity comes a heightened level of responsibility. The spotlight shining on the league is brighter than ever before, meaning that every action, every statement, and every on-court confrontation is magnified under a microscopic lens. When unprofessional conduct and inflammatory social media posts dominate the headlines instead of breathtaking athletic feats and competitive excellence, it threatens to alienate the very audience driving the sport's historic boom. New fans tuning in to watch elite sportsmanship and high-level skill are often bewildered to witness chaotic altercations followed by digital posturing that resembles reality TV drama rather than professional athletics. Maintaining the sanctity and prestige of the league requires active stewardship from both the athletes on the court and the executives running the front offices. As the sports community counts down the days toward the scheduled August 23rd matchup, the atmosphere surrounding the league remains tense, charged with anticipation and underlying anxiety. Fans and commentators alike continue to voice their concerns across digital platforms, demanding transparent responses from league leadership regarding how player conduct and safety will be enforced moving forward. The discussion extends far beyond a single player or a singular foul. It touches upon the core identity of professional sports and the standards of behavior expected from those privileged enough to compete at the highest level. Whether the league administration decides to step in with decisive disciplinary measures or allow the competitive tension to simmer until the next opening tip, the conversation sparked by this event has permanently altered the narrative surrounding the season. The overarching desire of the consumer base is simple and unified. They want to witness brilliant basketball played safely, professionally, and passionately within the bounds of sporting integrity. Until definitive steps are taken to ensure that physical safety and professional decorum reign supreme. The ghost of this violent collision and its explosive digital aftermath will continue to cast a long, heavy shadow over every game played on the hardwood.